Good morning. Isn't that a beauty? Just came in yesterday. So today's objective is to get that thing mocked up and on the bike. Of course, nothing's easy. So here's basically what we're going to have to go through. Starts with that guy there. That's the bottom piece of the bearing cup with the integrated fork stop, what those slots in it are. And that needs to get mounted around down here. Well, that's going to take a little bit of doing. So the first step, I'm going to try to do this one-handed to show you what's going on with this thing. So you got this big nut on top, which is of course threaded forever. Now it's on the ground. Luckily it fell on something soft, didn't scratch up my chrome. Got that. I've already loosened all this stuff up and had it apart before. So you get that piece. Then this piece comes out, and this will be what actually tightens down the bearings. And of course this one, the thread goes on forever. And there. Okay, so when it's all said and done, this guy has to sit in here, like that. And we got a couple of issues that are going to be fun. First one is, we've got to drill and tap holes in this piece here, where the corresponding hole locations. So the good news is this piece here comes right out. I don't know if I can do this. I don't think I can do this one-handed, but let's figure it out. All right, so there's just a little set screw down here. Loosen that. That drops right out. Easy peasy. All right, so now, assuming this is in the right place, we can get to 3 of the holes, but I don't think we can get to this one. That's going to be tough. I've got this right angle drill I bought for some woodworking work I was doing a while back. I honestly don't know if it's going to have enough to get these holes in here or not, and it looks like it will just clear that one. So anyway, so the goal is we got to get those 4 holes drilled. Hopefully this one here, the drill will fit and we can get it in. The other little wrinkle that we've got is the hole that goes here on this end is going to go right into the hole where the set screw is going. So what we're going to have to do is probably just pull the set screw out, drill straight down, might even drill into the set screw hole, and then here's the screws that are going to end up going in there. I'll just have to cut one of those off such that it doesn't interfere with the set screw. So anyway, goal is to get all that put together, and then once that's done, should go on the bike pretty straightforward. We'll obviously put the bearings on at this point just to make sure those are in place, and hopefully by a couple hours from now we'll have a fork. Looking forward to seeing what it looks like. Well, we got a little bit of a wrinkle here. I don't know if you can see that. I started drilling the hole for one of the mounting screws for the lower plate of the bearing cup, and you see it's right on the edge. I mean, it actually crept into the hole a little bit. So I mean, even if that alone isn't a problem, there's no way we're going to be able to cut threads in these holes once they're done. So, time to noodle a little bit and figure out how we're going to deal with this, because I don't think this is going to work. Well, it's a new day, and finally getting around to wrapping up the video. So there it is. Look at that. Wheels are pretty much on the ground for the first time, so get a chance to see where this whole thing is going. the whole thing with the bearing cups pretty much turned into an exercise of me making life way harder than it needed to be. Here was the final resolution. The thing that I wasn't thinking about was that the fork itself has stops built in. So the whole thing with the bearing cup with the built-in stops was unnecessary. So what I ended up doing to resolve, I don't know if you can see all this, to resolve the problem was to simply do nothing. And what I ended up doing, hopefully I can show you where this is, down here, you can see it better from this side, that lower bearing cup, the cap that I was trying to mount to this lower triple tree, which is where the stops are, I ended up just setting it in there, and it's not screwed in or attached to the triple tree in any way. It just sits there. And that's really all it needs to do, because any stopping that I need for the fork, I get from the forks themselves. I'll probably put some little rubber pads or something on there so it doesn't whack too hard against the frame. But that's it. So, after all that, it actually turned out to be a whole lot easier than I was making it. So, lesson learned there. Got the front wheel mocked up. That's the stock wheel off the donor bike. The diameter is right, but I'm not sure this is going to work, and here's why. If you look at it, it's not quite centered right now just because it's just sitting there loose. Even if I did center it, I'm going to have a huge spacer on that side. But the real issue, and it's going to be a little hard to see here, but can I get in like this? I think it's so narrow that this brake caliper is actually going to hit the spokes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this thing off and see if I can figure out if I can get enough spacer under there to clear the caliper from the spokes. But I don't think that's going to work. So what I think I'm going to want to end up doing is getting a wider wheel. Good news is I already got the tire. Tire's good. I'll just get a wider wheel that that tire will fit, and we'll throw it on. Look at how new that thing is. Just got that. Probably only got 150, 200 miles on it. Anyway, so that's the update, and that's the overall geometry. One problem solved at a time. It's getting kind of fun now, though. It's pretty cool, sort of seeing how this thing's going to look. Update soon.